Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today. If this is your first time here, please think about commenting, liking, and subscribing to this channel. For all of you returning, thank you so much for being part of this wonderful family here. Your support means so much to me, and this little YouTube channel is growing because of you. I am on the road to 100 subscribers, and I can't do it without you guys. So, without further ado, we are going to do coffee and cards. Let's discuss Whitney Houston. Now, if you don't know who Whitney Houston is, I'm going to be very shocked. She is one of the most powerful female vocalists of all times. Unfortunately, she passed away in very mysterious circumstances. She had the best-selling soundtrack of all time from her movie The Bodyguard, and also did several other projects, including television, movies, and music. She was someone who transcended everything. She took a country song and made it into one of the most beautiful pop love songs ever. Her voice could be heard in churches and around the world. Unfortunately, she lived a life that was very hard. She was not the angel that everyone presented her to be, nor the image that she wanted to present to people. She was tough. She was street smart. She had a drug problem. And rumors about her sexuality, I don't really think that's anybody's business. But if true, if she was hiding that part of herself, I do feel bad for her in that sense. Because how could you be the best version of yourself without being honest? But I digress. She was married for a very short time to musician Bobby Brown. Well, very short time. We all kind of wished it was a short time because, she kind of self destructed. They had one child together, Bobby Christina, who unfortunately also died in very mysterious circumstances that echoed her mother's. I will be doing a separate video on her, but I just wanted to mention that she did have a daughter because her daughter was a huge part of her life. She was pregnant with Bobby when she was doing The Bodyguard. Um, Now, I know Whitney unfortunately had several miscarriages, and her life was not easy. It was plagued with many demons and yes men and people who were surrounding her. My biggest concern was the letter she handed off to Brandy the morning before I think it was either the morning that she died or the night before she died. Brandy was doing a interview with Clive Davis. If I can find that interview, I will link it down in the description box. It is creepy. If you listen to what Whitney is saying, she said that she almost drowned in the bathtub the night before. This is the second time in 24 hours before her death that she almost drowned in a bathtub. She came to Clive and Brandy, looking completely disheveled, had dripping wet hair. She was there with Bobby, her daughter, and she hands a note to Brandy. And Brandy looks at the note and like pockets it, but the next thing you know, Whitney is dead. There's just something so chilling to me about what that note had. I don't know, but she was clearly shook by that note. And I know Randy has said, it either said like good luck or something to that effect, or Whitney was giving her well wishes or a joke or something. I don't believe any of that. I do not believe any of that. I think it was kind of watch your back and be careful because they're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill you. The reason why I say that is because Whitney, unfortunately, was breaking down as far as her musical career. She had done so many drugs that it affected her singing voice. She no longer could hold a concert like she could in the past. Her voice was gone. It also seemed like she had gotten into some sort of physical altercation with a young lady at a club the night before. Yeah, it was drugs. But really, she was surrounded by people who were giving her drugs. She was surrounded by people who were letting her get away with destructive behavior. And she had almost drowned. Again, what in the world? It just blows my mind. So I'm going to do something different. I'm going to use an oracle deck. This is Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck, and it's by Amanda Lovelace. Now there is an accompanying book to this. I do not have it, but I really like this oracle deck. So I'm going to pull some cards and show you guys. Now there is no reversals in oracle cards. So we're going to pull some cards and see what possibly happened to Whitney Houston. Um, the first card I get is Witch, Justice is Coming. She's a woman in a wardrobe who is looking through, and it almost looks like she's got a baseball bat right here. Oh, it's actually a sword. There's a sword here, and there's, oh, I'm sorry, this is a sword. This is a baseball bat. So justice is coming. It's going to be swift and it's going to be violent. So somebody is going to be paying for their sins. Castle, it's time for healing, not war. So many bad things happen as a result of Whitney Houston's death. A lot of people profited off of it. Just strange, terrible, terrible things. But when I see this image, I don't think of anybody outside of her mother. I think her mother, who is still alive today, is battling these wars and asking what ifs, and what if I have done something better, what if I had raised her a different way, what if this is a war that is going on within herself, and she needs to find healing because a war is not going to help anything. um, Princess, you can be your own knight. So I keep seeing, obviously this woman is ready for battle. She is sharpening her sword. She's ready for justice. She's looking out on the kingdom. Like, this just keeps telling me that I don't quite know if it's Whitney, but somebody is ready to battle. Like, they're gonna bring it down, man. This is some serious stuff. They're really, really angry. And expectations, don't seek anyone's approval. Now that was Whitney to a fault. I actually um, listened to many of her interviews where she would speak about, you know, being herself. She really didn't care what anybody else thought. Supposedly, she didn't, but she lived her life the way as she wanted her to live her life, as dangerously and as wild as she wanted to. However, she was also very clued into things that were going on around her. She knew that people wanted to put her in a box. Clive Davis, her record company, her mother, her friends, they wanted to put her into a box, and she was not going to be boxed in by anyone, which is why she kind of rebelled and did certain things in her life, almost like a fit on a big scale that lasted for years, and part of that was the drug abuse. But the one thing that I was talking to you about the interview. I watched Whitney Houston do an interview when I was quite a bit younger. It was during the Bodyguard years, and they were talking about Whitney turning 40 and if that bothered her at all. And she said, no, I've got all the friends that I want. I don't need any new friends. I don't need anything else in my life. I know who I am. So, for one thing about Whitney, she definitely knew who she was, and she had no qualms about it, and she knew which master she served. Just putting that out there. Sun, paint the sun back in your life. So, there's a lot of devastation that followed her death, obviously, with what happened to her daughter, with what happened with several people, and with a record company being scrutinized for things that I can't talk about on YouTube. Um, we look more and more to people in high places that manipulated and groomed people. Whitney Houston was definitely groomed by the record industry. And to what extent, I don't know. But she was 100% groomed. And I just feel like some of this stuff needs to come to light because she was used for music and nothing else. And she was murdered. I mean, straight out, she was murdered. She was eventually going to die given the path that she was on, the types of drugs that she was doing. She was going to end up eventually having a heart attack, overdosing something. She had done a lot of damage to her body through the years and years and years of drug abuse. However, she could not perform anymore. And it's very similar to Michael Jackson, who could not perform anymore. Are you worth more dead or alive? How much money are you going to lose when there are people walking out of concerts and people who are booing her, people not purchasing tickets, people calling her a mess, people seeing that she's a mess? How much money are you going to lose? How much money would you save if she was dead? And it's deeper than that. That's the surface part. Girl, look at that. Red, forgive. So, wow, she's in a bathtub. Almost like, ooh, it's almost like a Garden of Eden type feeling that I'm getting, but opposite. She was nurturing, she thought she was nurturing something that was important, that was special, and it wasn't. And I can't even get over the fact that I just drew a card of a woman in the bathtub. I'm gonna move on because, yeah. Clover, release your guilt. So there's a lot of guilt happening around the yes men around in her life. A lot of people allowed her to die. There were family members, assistants, things like that, Clive Davis, who allowed her, supposedly for entertainment purposes only, allegedly, allowed her to die. That was the plan. That's how it's supposed to work out. But there are plenty of people who were kind of on the outer circle that had to go along with this narrative and was not able to help her and resuscitate her because of situations out of their hands. The inner circle of people kept them away so they could not perform life-saving measures. The fact that she had a massive burn from the water tells me a lot, and she didn't just like fall in the water. And how the hell do you like scald yourself like that, especially when she had her baths drawn for her? Lighthouse, don't doubt your worth. I am always enough. I think that was kind of a mantra in her life. But I feel like there was a younger female that was after her, who wanted to replace her, that wanted to be in the spotlight, but I don't know who. Universe, we're all just stardust. Yes, we are all temporary. And Whitney understood that. Whitney grew up in the church and she had a beautiful voice, and she used that voice to sing in a church. She was laid to rest at a church, but Whitney was not religious. She she served her own master. Um, she presented herself to be a religious person, but she was not. She could sing gospel like nobody's business. It would give you chills and it would make you feel like you had the Holy Spirit in you, but she did not believe that way. She believed in a completely different system, and she believed in a completely different system that, good God, it's almost like she would push herself out and think that she could attach herself to Bobby Christina's spirit. That's creepy. We're just gonna keep going. Sundress, do it for you. Which kind of creeps me out because Bobby Christina had a lot of. She was known to have those cute little sundresses that she would always wear, and she was looking up in the air. I almost feel like this was a sacrifice, and it might have even. I don't think it was on purpose, but I think the thought and the intention was there, but it wasn't meant to happen that way. I think that the deaths happened the way that they did, that mimicked each other for a reason. And it wasn't just to confuse people or to throw them off a scent or to look at anything else as this being a tragic accident. I really feel like there are beliefs that I have read about, and I don't want to I don't want to lead you down that path because it's out there. You can find it for yourself. Um, I'm not going to, but there are beliefs that the parent's spirit can go into the child's, and there has to be certain things that line up in order to make that happen. And the parent has to sacrifice their life in order to give their energy into their child's body, thus pushing the child aside and having a reliving through that child. Um, Honestly, I think that's what was happening, but it was chaos, 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 chaos. It didn't happen the way it was supposed to. I don't even think it was supposed to happen then. Don't be afraid to sing. This is Spaceship. Don't be afraid to sing. Okay, somebody, actually, all of us who can put this stuff together need to put it out there. You need to sing it out. Um, there's 3 women here. There's one other woman affected by this, and I almost wonder if it's Brandy. But I don't know. I just feel this emptiness, this shell, this emptiness, this. Something went wrong. It was not supposed to happen that day. Um, they weren't ready. Which you already have all the answers that you need. This was not a mistake. Neither was the way that Bobby Christina passing away was not a mistake. But this was murder. The ritual that they wanted to do was not supposed to take place that way. Not then. And they ended up killing her. And there were a lot of people involved, a lot of higher ups, a lot of powerful people involved in this death, this murder. Um, there is nostalgia for a time where they didn't know this. There's a whole group of people who wish they could take it all back and be the way that they were before they knew all of this and before they took part in it, because once you open yourself up to this type of thing, this ritual, this whatever you want to call it, once you open up yourself to it, you're not going to be able to backpedal. You're never going to unlearn all of the stuff. Now, this doesn't necessarily come off as negative to most people. I am going to say it is negative, even though it's a beautiful card, but they are reminiscing about a time before they knew the horrors. Okay, this is deep crap here. Like, not okay, this isn't deep crap. This is a situation that happened that was planned, but murder happened. I think I'm going to do, I'm going to stop here and do a second part, and I might add Bobby Christina into this, but I want to see, because I'm not seeing anything from Whitney herself. I'm seeing stuff from the circumstances surrounding her death, and what others who have passed on are narrating. So I'm going to put a pin in this. This is going to be part one. I'll go to part two and maybe make Bobby Christina part of this series as well. But this goes a lot deeper than what I even thought when I first started doing this reading. So before I go, this is the tarot deck again, or the oracle deck that I used, and of course I always like to show peeps my the Rider Waite tarot deck, which is I will link both of these on the description. I also have this cute little sign that I got. And I am able and willing to book readings. Reach out to me via my email, which I will leave in the description. And also a shout out to my pal, my girl, Melissa Blue Delish, for providing earrings today. Now, I'm the one that buys this. This is not something that she has me promote or anything. I adore her stuff. I love supporting her, and she's a small business. So if you guys are a small business and you want me to support something, let me know and we will talk. But until next time, remember that every single day is a gift. Use your time wisely.